Welcome to this next episode of YouTube. Apologize for the delay. We just got overwhelmed last week and I didn't get a chance to publish any video. And so this week I'm calling this fall transition, and I suppose if I look back in the multiple years of YouTubes that I've been doing, I probably say this every fall. But it is the fall transition when the temperatures are warm and the wolves have a winter coat that's really filling in. And so on some of those warm days they just kind of pant. But then we have some of the cool days, and you're going to see some activity here. Certainly Aidan going down into a play bow and engaging with the other pack members. Denali up on the top of the den wagging his tail. Luna waiting for Aidan and Bolts to come out of the den. This kind of social interaction, especially around the den, is kind of a hide-and-seek thing. But as you can clearly see, Aidan's feeling better. He is wagging his tail. He's moving around. You know, whatever is going on in his gut, right now Pepsid AC seems to be the answer, and that seems to make him feel better. And you know, there's nothing medically that we can identify except that something just doesn't sit right with him. So if we can get him to feel better, we can get him to move, we can get him to be more active, and if it is a weight issue, we can get him to lose that weight. But again, the panting is going to be common this time of the year. They've got a full belly from feeding on the carcass. You add heat to that and a full winter coat, especially on Sundays, they're not going to be as active. But fall's coming, and like I say, Aidan's, you can tell he's excited. He's kind of doing a prance, and he's tapping his front feet on the ground and scraping the ground. Those are all kind of part of what we call invite chase. Invite chase is typically a play bow where they go down on their front haunches and then spring and run, and somebody chases them. Aidan's, again, leery of being the focus of chasing, so he's not going to do as much invite chase. So here they're chasing bolts, and that's the question that we're having this, certainly this winter, and our Wolf Watch programs are going to focus on that. Again, we do Wolf Watch usually the first Friday night of the month, where we have people who stay overnight and help us observe. But definitely we're watching Bolts and how he's moving up in the rank order. At this time, Denali's and Luna are definitely doing some dominance over him, and this is Aidan actually even joining in. So Bolts has got his tail tucked. He does not like to be the focus of the pack. When they were yearlings, the adults didn't focus much on him. There wasn't a lot of what we call mobbing, and mobbing just means all wolves on one wolf. Doesn't necessarily mean a negative connotation. Just means they're all focused on one wolf. Well, that didn't happen so much as yearlings and young adults. Now that he's coming into adulthood, somebody's going to be at the bottom of the pack order, and it's going to have to be, well, it's going to have to be one of the males, because Luna's the dominant female, and she's not going to be the bottom of the pack order because she's got her own rank as a female. So it's going to be one of these males, and so we are going to really kind of watch that. And like I said, Aidan, we're happy to see him engage in some social behavior here. Certainly, he's inviting this. He's doing a submissive paw, and he's actually letting Bolts grab him by the scruff of the neck here. But when Luna comes in, Aidan's like, enough is enough. I'm going to start to put some a little more authority on that. And it's fun. The den's got two openings, obviously. The wolves come in the back, they go out front. So here's where Aidan gets a little bit too much of Luna, and his hackles go up right away. And it's interesting, when Aidan gets too much of Luna, he goes after Denali. So Aidan kind of controls Denali based on his kind of situation where he's having some dominance. Now Bolts is there with a T2 tail. His tail's straight out, Aidan's is down. That's what we're watching for. Aidan's hackles are up here, which tells me that Aidan and the hackles are kind of a response to a little bit of a stress indicator, a little anxiety, a little fear indicator. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to cause hackles, but when I see Aidan's hackles up, that's a little more serious. He certainly doesn't like to focus. And so our biggest challenge right now, it seems to me, that when Luna's distracting Aidan, Bolts takes advantage of him. And here's Luna trying to do a chin rest on Aidan, and poor Aidan. Yeah, so she's shorter, so she puts all of her neck into it, trying to show some authority over him. One of these days, Luna's just going to have to learn that it's easier to be social than it is to be dominant. But anyways, that's for another YouTube. But we have been doing something a little bit different. Again, Bolts is, we know he's not as tractable to the wolf care staff. He was a little older when we got him. He's got You know, every time you see him walk, he's got his head down. He's a little bit timid. He doesn't interact like everybody else who gets social attention from the wolf care staff. So we're wondering if maybe if we can get Bolts a little bit more attention, he'll be a little more relaxed, and then there won't be as much anxiety. But we're also very mindful, if we give him a little attention, do we build his confidence that he's all that much more likely to test. So we're trying out a few things. Originally we put Aidan and Denali into holding and let one of our wolf care staff who Bolts likes and Bolts works with quite well, but that wolf care staff can't go in with Aidan because Aidan's aggressive towards her. So we separated out Aidan in holding and then let her greet Bolts in the pen. Unfortunately, Bolts got really excited, and then when Aidan came back out, he was just kind of really a testing young adult. So then what we did the next time we did it, we put Bolts and Denali into holding and let him interact with the staff person, and then I stayed out with Aidan and Luna. And the interesting part was that Aidan had some one-on-one time with Luna, and he rolled her over. He didn't have the distraction of Bolts coming up behind him, and he asserted some authority over Luna, and for the first time I thought I saw Luna willingly submit to something. So that may be something that we try in the next couple of weeks. Again, we always have to be mindful that wolf care staff influence what's going on with the pack, and so we're always mindful of that. So those are things that we're watching. Obviously the fall transition means that more active wolves. We had actually the high yesterday, I believe, was 46, and oh boy, the wolves were like newborns. I mean, they were running around, chasing each other, jumping on each other. So that's kind of the fall transition. And so here you see Luna and Bolts obviously still being kind of a little pups once in a while, even though they're going on 3, or there'll be 3 next spring. We definitely see that activity. So Grizzer, like I say, he's got the same problem. You give us a fall day that's over 75 degrees with a wolf with a full coat, you're just going to lay and pant. Panting is evaporating heat off your tongue, and that's what Grizzer's doing here, just the pant, pant, pant. He's got a good full winter coat, and again, like I said, he's going to be 11, so he is one of those age structures where, you know, obviously we got to start watching things. You know, it's still very raw to talk about the 2 14-year-olds that we lost here. We know that Lucas, a wolf from the 1993 litter, declined at 13. So, you know, he's going on 11, and that's just the point where you start, you know, watching for those kind of abnormalities and making sure that he's comfortable and that we address those things like overheating, you know, acclimation to winter temperatures, that type of thing. But like I said, for the most part, Grizz is doing good. He has a couple of idiosyncrasies. When the main pack starts wrestling around, he's got a little bit of a tree fetish, and so we're some of the pens are getting a little bit of a workout. And there's been lots of chase scenes, and Grizzer gets to chase right along with them in the back half of the pen. But when the wolves kind of start growling or dominating each other, he takes it out on a tree. And so we've got a lot of young trees that are being sacrificed in the east side enclosure as well as in the pack holding area. But, you know, it's worth it. Again, Grizzer, it's not a negative thing. It's just kind of an excitement thing, and certainly we want to, you know, make sure Grizzer is as comfortable as possible. So we're doing a lot of distraction things, but he's doing quite well. So I do understand that I was challenged. The Ice Bucket Challenge was our Ice Bucket Water Challenge was posted by Wolf Park. So Grizzer was accommodating to allow me to do the Ice Bucket Challenge in his enclosure. I didn't want to do it in the main pack because if I shook or started, you know, shivering or something like that, the wolves would probably think it's weak and probably take me a little bit to get over that. So Grizzer, he's pretty amiable to all kinds of weird things. So you'll see here Cameron and myself and Grizzer. So I'll let you listen to that. So we're here in the East Side exhibit with Grizzer and Cameron taking the challenge from Wolf Park for the ice cubes over the head. So my name's Laurie Schmidt, the Wolf Curator, and Cameron is going to dump ice cubes over my head, which is not much different than Wolf Care when it was raining here a few days ago. So Grizzer's like, forget this. All right, whenever you're ready. Great, Grizz. Oi, 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 that's cold. Come here, Grizzer. Grizzer, look at me. So Grizzer's like, you humans have no idea how to have a good time. So, given the fact that it's going to be like 30 degrees here next week, I'm not offering this challenge to anybody who lives north of 45 degrees latitude. So, anyways, so thanks for watching, and Grizzer, like I said, is a little freaked out by the human activity. So that's it for this week's YouTube. And again, we're having another webinar towards the end of the month. Check out our website if you want to get some live action detail about what's going on with the exhibit pack dynamics. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you next week.